A lot of when people think of access to justice, they normally are thinking about the trial level. But at the appellate level, one of the couple of things we've done, one of them I've already mentioned, which is the live streaming of oral arguments. I think that has been crucial because while it's nice that the Supreme Court of Georgia has it and that they're going to hear a lot of important cases, you mentioned workhorse. The Court of Appeals is the workhorse court. We handle roughly 85% of all the appeals in the state, especially with the jurisdictional shift. So even more now than ever, we are a true intermediate appellate court. And it's not only important for the lawyers, although that's been revolutionary, to be a lawyer down in Bainbridge, and let's say you've got your first oral argument ever before the Court of Appeals. In the past, if you wanted to do a preview, you'd have to drive all the way to Atlanta. Now you can just sit at your computer and say, okay, I've got the third division next month. I can watch this panel. And especially with all the turnover we've had with different judges. And I think I mentioned at our Judicial Council, we're going to probably start 2018 with 3 new judges. We did that in 16, we did that in 17. And so when you have new judges, lawyers, and citizens, this is their opportunity to see those judges and to have access and to see, because we're only in the court. I'm on the bench usually 9 times a year. We don't have oral arguments in distress months, and I won't bore y'all with distress, but that's a time when we have our deadlines. And so in a month where that's a month where we have to get all of our cases out for that term. So it's only 9 months, usually once a month. So those are the only opportunities a citizen or a lawyer has if they don't regularly appear before the court to see that. Another thing I'll just mention briefly, and then I'll turn it over to Jason. We have a guide, a citizen's guide, on our website, and I give a lot of credit to Steve Caslin, our clerk, and our staff at the clerk's office. We even had interns. They spent a lot of time rewriting in plain English, going through, not only talking about how do you file a pro se appeal, but what here are standards of review in different types of cases, which guide in many cases are a dispositive factor on an appeal. So those two things are the things that really come to mind. But I think, to me, access to justice in a very broad sense at the Court of Appeals is about providing transparency about how we operate and trying to make our rules as not only citizen friendly but as practitioner friendly as possible.